Alright guys, so this is the last video in my flexibility series. Today is working on tricking flexibility. Now, this is going to be broken up into two parts. Number one, the first part is high tricking kicks. The second part is going to be landing in splits on your tricks. So, let's get started. Alright, remember to do a warm-up. So whatever your warm-up was for the other two flexibility videos, that's fine. Do that. Or if you're a tricker and you have your own type of warm-up, whatever it is, but make sure that you are very warm because you're going to be doing high kicks and you're going to be doing a lot of splits training here today. Now, I also want to address something. Do not stretch out as if you are watching the very first video, because that's going to weaken your muscles too much too soon in order to properly do what you need to do for this video. So just keep that in mind as we go forward. The first section is high tricking kicks. Alright guys, so high tricking kicks. How do we achieve that? It may sound like an oversimplification, but if you already did last week's flexibility video, you're already set to go. Pretty much you have everything you need to do, especially if you did round kicks and hook kicks, because those are the two primary kicks in tricking. So any trick that has that in it, has either of those kicks in it, all you need to do is you need to just force your leg higher. If you're already flexible enough to where you can hold your kick standing still at about head level, like so, then you're already ready to go for your tricking kick. The only difference here is when you're doing a tricking kick, whatever it is, whether it's tornado kick, spinning hook kick, jump wheel kick, whatever, the difference here is you have to fight the torque of the trick. And sometimes this spinning momentum here makes it more difficult to actually focus on raising the kick up. Here's the fix. So most people trick very low to the ground, all right? So, especially if you're doing kicks, they trick very low to the ground. So for instance, if I do a tornado kick, if I am torquing it super hard in a circle like this, my trick is going so fast around that you can't really focus on where it goes. Now, granted, that was roughly around my head level, but that's because I've been training this kick so long that it just automatically happens. For you, that might not happen. It might happen a little bit lower, like say, weights level. The fix to this is focusing equal amounts on spin and height. So, focus too much on height, all you're going to do is go up, you're not going to spin. Focus too much on spin, you're only going to spin and not go up. So you need to force yourself into that motion, into that direction. When we're tricking, we always travel in a line like this. We're always traveling side to side. So when you are doing a kick that you want to emphasize the aesthetics, high kicks, whatever, you need to focus on going in a diagonal direction. Because if you go in a diagonal direction, you're still spinning, but you're also going up, so you have less torque in this direction, and you can focus higher kicks. You can focus on higher kicks. Now, what does this mean for higher level kicks? If you are just barely able to land, like say a cheat 900 or a cheat 7 or whatever, it's not going to happen immediately. You need to drill that kick until you have a decent amount of float and height and all of that. If you're doing a cheat 7 and that's the height that you're getting, it's not going to happen. You need to drill it so much that you get all of that float upwards, like so. Alright, you need to drill it so much that you are getting high amounts of height. And as you spin, you need to be able to spot and see your target well before you land. That's when you can really focus on getting your kick to go exactly where you want it. There's a huge difference between being able to aim a kick when you're on the ground, like so, and when you're spinning. Because, as you noticed, I couldn't reach aim to that kick. It was so much torque through that it's more difficult to control. So just keep all of that in mind as you go forward trying to make your tricking kicks higher. Alright, so part 2, this is on flexibility, landing in splits with your tricks. This can seem very dangerous, and it is if you do it incorrectly. The biggest issue that I see with this is ACL tears and knee damage. Because when you land in a split, this is how you do it. Heel goes here, back foot goes sideways, and I gradually let myself come down. If you're not flexible enough, your ACL going straight up and down your leg can tear. The side of the knee can also take a brunt of the damage. Your foot will be all right. The foot's not as big an issue, but the side of the knee and the ACL. So here's the fix. You have to drill and you have to take this in steps, just like learning any trick. This is a new trick. You may think that landing a jump 360 and landing a jump 360 and a split are the same thing. They're not. They're completely different tricks because your landing is completely different, obviously. So here's the difference. Now, I can do this all day long, not have a hurt knee, not have a hurt ACL. Again, leading back into what we just did, you need to have a lot of height and a lot of float on these tricks in order to properly do this. Because here's the landing position. If you're familiar with martial arts, a back stance should be fairly common, fairly well-known knowledge. Because this is roughly what you need to do. You need to have a back stance type position. I'm not landing in a split. I'm landing on my feet and letting myself slide down into the split. So here's the progression scheme. You're going to start by practicing just standing up and then putting your feet out and then sliding into your split and then coming back up. That's the first progression. All it is I stand here, feet out, down, back up. Make sure you are careful when it comes to the surface you're on. For instance, my ground here, my backyard is very loose and my feet get stuck in it very easily. For instance, right there, I had to be very careful because my heel dug in here and the back of my foot dug in back here. So if I were to force that super hard, I could tear my ACL and I could hurt my knee. So you need to be extremely careful based on whatever surface you're on. Mats, plyo floor, not really as big of a deal, but when you have an unstable surface like this, it becomes more apparent and you need to focus more on your landing conditions. It's all about being aware of your body, what's happening, and sensing your environment around you. Just be careful. So that's your step one. Step two is to basically combine all of that. So instead of one, down, up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of jump into that first position and then slide out. So I jump into the first position, slide out, stand back up. Now you notice that was a lot easier to stand back up out of because I jumped into it. My force coming down rebounded me back up. So again, it's here. I just jump out, down, back up. That's step number two. Now, I do want to address something. Just because you're not hurting your knee doesn't mean that the exterior of your knee is not going to feel some, because you have to condition it a little bit, just like anything else. Like in martial arts, we condition our bones and muscles so that we feel less pain. It's the same idea. Your knee, the side of the knee is going to hurt a little bit, but it's nothing more than superficial as long as you're doing this correctly and safely. Now, here comes the next part. We're going to combine steps one with this step. The easiest trick to land into a split is a jump 360. That's this. Like I explained earlier, that's the easiest trick to land into a split because it's upright, it's only one spin. So yeah, here's what you're going to do. You're going to practice your jump 360. I'm going to jump. I'm going to land here like I normally do, and then I'm going to drop into step number two. So I'm going to take back what I said. We're not going to do step number one because you already practiced that a lot. We're just going to combine steps 2 and now 3. So I'm going to go here, jump 360, split, stand back up. That's step number 3. 3, 4, something like that. Anyway, so now here comes the fun part. This is where you actually get to do the really cool thing, where you land in that split. So from here, all you have to do is you jump up and then you smooth out the landing. So I'm going to take out that middleman. So we would land the 360 and then drop into the split and then come back up. Now we're just going to take out that middleman. We're going to do jump 360 and then land straight into the split. You practice all these steps about 10 times. This shouldn't be that big of a deal. Again, remember though, this can be dangerous based on your conditions and how you feel. So you need to judge what you need to do, and you need to be careful, because remember, I'm not there with you. And again, this can be very dangerous if done incorrectly. So again, jump, down, and back up. So hopefully that clears up how we can use flexibility to make our tricking better, more interesting, intricate, all of that. All right, now there's one last thing I want to address when it comes to landing in a split. Some people, most people, are more comfortable with one type split over the other split. So what I mean by this is, for instance, I spin to my left. I rotate all my tricks in that direction. I am more comfortable with right leg in front splits. Some people, spinning to this way, I'm looking at you, Andrew Bacchus. Some people spinning this direction are more comfortable with left leg in front splits. Now, here's how we fix this. Some people are going to be able to do certain tricks into splits. Some people are going to be able to do those other tricks. So for instance, I go this direction into a jump 360 into a front split. Now, for instance, if you were to do a left leg in front, tricks that would be more applicable to you to land into a front split would be a B-twist or a cart full. Now, this leads us into one last thing that I did forget to mention, which is very important that I do mention it. The foot that lands first, the foot that lands in sequence first, that is the leg that goes forward. So, what do I mean? Jump 360. You may be thinking, all right, you land on 2 feet. Which leg lands first in sequence? Think about this. A pop 360, in tricking terms, is a hyper jump spin hook kick. Which leg landed first? Right leg landed first. So, in this case, my right leg would be going forward. Butterfly twist, let's think about it. I'm not going to do it because I'm not comfortable with that side split. I've never trained a B-twist into a split. If I were to do a butterfly twist into a split, let's just imagine I did a butterfly twist. Wham! This foot, my left foot would be landing first. Left foot is landing first in a butterfly twist. Therefore, left leg, if I were to do this, which is probably going to look very bad, would land into that split first. So, anytime you are practicing a trick into a split, remember the first leg that lands always goes forward when you're doing these tricks. There are some exceptions to this rule, but if you are that high a level to where you have to think about those exceptions, you are at the level to where you can make those adjustments and do it safely. But in general, for most basic tricks, again, the first leg that lands goes forward in your front split. And I think that's pretty much all I have to say on the matter. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next one.